Hey everyone, ready to dive into some seriously cool daily routines? I mean, the kind that helps you totally rock your day, but without feeling like, a robot.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going deep today on a conversation between two people. One's a student trying to juggle all those classes. The other's working a 9 to 5.
Ah, the daily grind.
Right, and they're sharing how they structure their entire day start to finish.
I love this.
Oh, and get this, we've got definitions for some really helpful vocab words sprinkled in.
Oh, nice.
Think of it like a little productivity cheat sheet ready to boost your day.
I love that cheat sheet. That's good.
Right. Okay, so what I find fascinating is how these two routines, even though they're made for super different lifestyles, show us some universal principles that I think we can all use.
Absolutely.
So we're going to break down the WHY behind the structure.
Yeah.
So you can build a routine that really works for you, not just some cookie cutter thing.
For you, yeah, totally.
So let's start with the morning, where the magic happens. Both of them were super serious about getting this part right.
Yeah. Makes sense?
The student actually compared it to an athlete's warm-up, which I thought was so smart.
Yeah, totally. It's like you wouldn't just, hit the track without stretching first. Right. You've got to prime your mind and your body for the day ahead. Kind of sets the stage for that. Peak performance.
Ooh, peak performance.
I like that.
Okay, so I'm really feeling more energized just thinking about it. So what do these power mornings actually look like? So the student wakes up around 7 a.m., stretches right there in bed, takes a few deep breaths. What a chill way to start the day.
Yeah.
Then it's like the usual bathroom routine. Teeth, face wash, all that.
Right.
Our professional is up a little earlier, around 6:30, but guess what's the first thing they do?
Let me think. Coffee.
No, even before that. Hydration. Both of them said drinking water first thing is key. And it's not just about being thirsty, right? It jumpstarts your metabolism, gets your brain working right.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that. Dehydration can really mess with your focus and energy. Yeah. So, yeah, just rehydrating after sleep is a game changer.
It's like that little action sets you up for a better day.
For sure.
Okay, on to breakfast. The student keeps it super light and easy to digest, things like oatmeal or toast, fuel before class.
Yeah.
The professional, on the other hand, prefers eggs and toast or maybe a quick smoothie.
Okay.
So what stands out to you about this when you're building a solid routine?
I think it's not so much about the specific foods,
Yeah.
It's the idea of a light breakfast. The student actually defines it as like a small, simple meal.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Like you want to give your body energy but not feel weighed down, right?
Oh, no, I totally get that.
That heavy meal can actually make you sluggish. A light breakfast is like that steady energy you need for those crucial morning hours.
It's fuel, not a feast. I love that.
Okay, now here's something they both do that I'm all about checking their to-do list first thing. That list of everything you need to tackle for the day. Ah, yes, the trusty to-do list.
Right. So it's more than just a memory aid. It's like strategic planning. By having your day mapped out, you're reducing those little decisions that tire you out. And it frees up brain power for the actual tasks, right?
Yeah. So you're not wasting energy trying to decide what to do next. You're just like, boom, 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 get it done.
Exactly. It's like a roadmap so you can just enjoy the journey, right? Okay, so morning routine, check. We've set the tone. We're energized, hydrated, and organized.
Love it.
But now we're heading into the afternoon, which, let's be real, can be a productivity danger zone.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Afternoons are notorious for that post-lunch slump, Even with the best intentions, it can hit you hard.
For sure.
But our speakers, they seem to know how to handle this tricky part of the day.
Yeah.
The student uses something called time blocking, which is basically dedicating certain blocks of time to specific tasks.
Uh-huh.
The professional, though, swears by short breaks.
Okay, interesting.
So they have two different approaches. But what do you think? Which is more effective?
I think they're both incredibly effective,
Yeah.
actually. And there's science behind it, too. Time blocking adds structure, minimizes distractions.
It's like creating those focus zones in your day.
Yeah, exactly. And those little breaks, crucial for recharging your brain. We're not meant to go full speed for hours on end.
Yeah.
Those breaks help you process information, prevent burnout, and ultimately, they actually make you more productive.
So it's like strategically pacing yourself throughout the day.
Totally.
What about lunch itself? Any interesting insights there?
Both of them keep lunch pretty light, too. The student likes salads or sandwiches. The professional often has a quinoa salad or a turkey sandwich.
Okay.
Again, it's about giving your body fuel without getting that sluggish feeling.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so back to tackling the afternoon. They both use this great phrase, knock out those tasks. Basically, they're all about efficiency, making the most of their energy levels. So the student focuses on knocking out big assignments when they're feeling super energized, and the professional tackles key projects.
Oh, that's smart.
Does that align with like peak productivity times?
It does. Our mental sharpness tends to peak earlier in the day for most people.
Oh.
So, yeah, it makes sense to prioritize the tough stuff then.
Okay, so we've had our morning warm-up, our super focused afternoon, and now it's time to shift gears into something just as important, winding down in the evening.
Yes.
It's about switching from that doing mode to just being, right? Getting ready for a good night's sleep, which, affects everything else we've been talking about.
Totally.
And our speakers have this part down to a science. Walks, music, reading, even some calming herbal tea. They make it sound so peaceful. What strikes you about their evening routines?
They're so intentional. They're not just letting the evening happen to them. They're choosing activities that help them relax and de-stress. And that sets them up for better sleep, which impacts mood, energy, everything the next day. It's all connected.
It's like a chain reaction of good stuff.
Exactly.
A good evening leads to a better morning and then a better day overall.
Absolutely. And one key thing they both mention is a consistent bedtime. The student tries for 10 p.m., the professional around 10:30.
Okay.
That regularity keeps your body clock running smoothly, so you sleep more deeply and wake up feeling more refreshed.
Consistency is key. I love how they use the phrase wind down, which they actually define as like gradually slowing down before sleep.
It's the perfect image, right? You're shifting from high activity to that more restful state. And those little things like brushing your teeth, washing your face, they signal to your brain that it's time to switch gears.
Oh yeah, it's like hitting the reset button for a new day.
Exactly. And those small actions can really have a big impact mentally too.
I totally agree with that. They can set you up for a much more peaceful night.
Definitely. It's like closing the book on today and starting a brand new chapter tomorrow.
Okay, so we've covered morning, afternoon, evening. But here's what I'm thinking about. It's not just about the individual parts, right? It's about how they all fit together to create this feeling of balance.
Yes.
Intention throughout the entire day.
Exactly. And both the student and professional emphasized this. Their routines weren't just about work or studies, but about having a well-rounded day.
Right.
With exercise, relaxation, those simple things that make you happy, like listening to music.
I love that. It's like their routines make room for a life, not just a schedule. I think that's a huge takeaway for everyone.
Absolutely. And it's not just about feeling good. Research shows that having those elements of well-being actually makes you more productive and creative. It's about designing a life that's sustainable, not just trying to squeeze everything out of your day,
Right. Okay, I am convinced.
Yeah.
But how do we actually make this happen? How do we take what we've learned and build a routine that works for our own, often crazy lives?
I think it starts with understanding yourself better. Take some time to really look at your current routine, or lack thereof. What's working? What's leaving you feeling drained or frustrated?
Like an honest self-assessment, right? When do you have the most energy? The least? When are you most focused, most creative? When do you absolutely need to step away and recharge?
Exactly. Once you understand your own rhythms better, you can start trying different things to optimize your day.
Like those time blocking and short break techniques we talked about.
Exactly. You can also think about adding things like morning walks to boost your energy, a few minutes of meditation to clear your head, or even just a dedicated reading break to give your brain a different kind of workout.
I love how it's not about finding some rigid one-size-fits-all plan. It's about tailoring your routine to fit your own energy and preferences.
Totally. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. Both the student and professional talked about how their routines have changed over time. The students changed a lot when they started college, and the professional has to adapt theirs all the time based on their job.
This is so relatable. I tend to get stuck in this my routine has to be perfect mindset. And then life throws a curveball and I feel completely derailed.
That's such a common trap. It's important to remember that a routine is a tool, not a prison, right?
Right.
It's there to serve you, not the other way around. So it has to be flexible enough to handle those inevitable twists and turns that life throws at us.
That's a huge shift in thinking. So it's okay to deviate from the plan when needed.
Absolutely. Sometimes those deviations lead to something unexpected or just help you deal with the situation better. It's about being intentional and adaptable, not rigid.
Okay, that takes a lot of pressure off.
Wow.
But what about people who are just starting out with this whole routine thing? Where do they even begin?
I always say start small and focus on consistency. Don't try to change everything overnight. Choose one or two areas you want to improve and build from there.
So maybe just nailing down a morning routine before tackling the rest of the day.
That's a great place to start. Or you could focus on having a consistent bedtime to improve your sleep quality. The key is choosing something that feels doable and sticking with it long enough to actually see the benefits.
It's like building a muscle. You wouldn't start with the heaviest weight,
Yeah,
right? You gradually increase the challenge as you get stronger.
exactly. It's about having realistic goals and celebrating those little wins along the way.
This makes me think about something the student said. They mentioned the routine isn't just about productivity. It's about having a sense of control and stability in their life.
That's such a powerful insight. Routines can give you a framework to handle the ups and downs of life. They create a sense of predictability and help you feel grounded, especially when things are stressful or uncertain.
And that stability, in turn, can boost your confidence and resilience.
Absolutely. It's like having a solid foundation to build on. Both the student and professional touched on this idea that routines are about more than just checking things off a list. It's about creating a life that reflects your values and priorities.
Okay, so we've got self-awareness, small steps, consistency, flexibility. Anything else we should keep in mind as we embark on this routine building journey?
I think it's important to remember that building a routine is a journey, not a destination.
Right.
It's an ongoing process of experimenting, refining, and adapting. What works for you today might not work a year from now, and that's okay.
So it's about embracing the process and being willing to adjust things along the way.
Exactly. And remember, you're not alone in this. We all struggle with routine sometimes. The important thing is to approach it with curiosity and self-compassion, not judgment or self-criticism.
That's a great reminder. We're all works in progress, right?
Absolutely. And sometimes the best lessons come from those times when our routines fall apart. It gives us a chance to learn, adjust, and grow.
All right, I'm feeling inspired and ready to tackle this whole routine thing with a fresh perspective.
That's fantastic. But before you go rushing off to create the perfect schedule, there's one more layer to this that we need to explore.
Oh, there's more. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
In the final part of our deep dive, we'll look at some of the unexpected benefits of routines, the stuff that goes way beyond just getting things done. Think deeper meaning, personal growth, even a greater sense of purpose.
Ooh, okay. Now I'm really curious. That sounds fascinating. Let's take a quick break and we'll dive into that right after this. Hashtag TTS, the deep dive episode 2024-1208, part 2 of 3.
All right, so we're back, and we're about to uncover those unexpected benefits of routines. I'm excited about this.
Me too, me too.
Yeah.
This is where things get really interesting. So, we've been talking about productivity and structure and all that good stuff.
Right.
But what about the stuff that goes beyond just checking things off a list?
Okay, yeah, like what are we talking about here?
Think about it this way. When you've got a solid routine going, you're basically automating all those little daily decisions.
Right.
Which frees up mental space, gives you more energy.
Yeah, I get that.
And then you can use that energy for things that really matter to you. Oh, okay. So it's like putting your brain on autopilot for the mundane stuff so you can focus on the bigger picture.
Exactly. And that's where those unexpected benefits come in. When you're not constantly bombarded by decisions and distractions, you create space for things like increased creativity, less stress, even a better understanding of yourself.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. But it makes so much sense. When you're not running around like crazy, you can actually connect with those deeper parts of yourself.
Exactly. Remember our student and professional.
Yeah.
They both talked about how their routines help them feel more grounded, more balanced, and even more confident in handling challenges. It's like having this invisible support system that makes you stronger from the inside out.
That's so powerful. It's like routines aren't just about managing your time. They're about mastering your life.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. I think it speaks to something really deep about us humans.
Yeah.
We crave structure, predictability, even if we don't always realize it. A good routine gives us that sense of stability, that order, helps us thrive in a world that can be pretty chaotic.
It's like creating a little pocket of peace in the middle of all the craziness. So it's not just about getting things done, it's about cultivating this inner peace, a sense of well-being.
Absolutely. It's about building a life that feels both fulfilling and sustainable. One where you're not constantly reacting to everything around you, but where you're actually in the driver's seat, shaping your own destiny.
I love that idea, proactively shaping your destiny. That's so empowering.
It really is. And I think both our student and the professional would agree. They both emphasized that their routines weren't about restricting them, but about liberating them.
Oh, interesting. Liberating them from what?
From that feeling of being overwhelmed, decision fatigue, stress, all of that.
So routines aren't the enemy of freedom. They're actually a path to it.
Beautifully said. That's a perfect way to sum up this whole conversation. A good routine can be a powerful tool for creating a life that's not just productive, but also deeply meaningful and fulfilling.
This has been so eye-opening. I feel like I have a completely new understanding of routines now.
Me too. As you go about your day, I want you to think about what we've talked about and ask yourself this question. What one small change can I make to my routine to bring me closer to the life I want to create?
That's a really great question to think about. I know I'll be pondering that for a while.
And remember, it's not about perfection. It's about making progress. Start small, be consistent, and most importantly, be kind to yourself along the way.
Absolutely. Well said. Well, on that note, we'll leave you to your deep thoughts and routine crafting adventures.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep. Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2024-1208, part 3 of 3.
All right, we're back and ready for the final part of our routine deep dive. And I'm already feeling inspired to level up my own routine game.
Me too. Me too. And this is where things get really exciting because we're not just talking about productivity hacks. We're talking about something much deeper, something more meaningful.
Okay, so what's the secret sauce here? What are these unexpected benefits that routines can bring?
Well, think about those everyday decisions we make, the little choices that take up our mental energy.
Yeah.
A well-crafted routine essentially takes those decisions off the table.
Oh, interesting.
It's like putting those choices on autopilot.
So you're free to focus on the bigger picture stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's where the magic happens. When you're not bogged down by all those little decisions, you create space for creativity, for stress reduction, even for self-discovery.
I'm really starting to see how powerful this can be. It's like clearing out the mental clutter so you can connect with your true self.
Exactly. And remember, our student and professional.
Yeah, they were great examples.
They both talked about how routines help them feel more grounded, more balanced, and even more confident when facing challenges. It's like having this inner strength that comes from having a solid routine in place.
It's amazing how something as simple as a daily routine can have such a profound impact on our well-being.
It really is. And I think it speaks to something fundamental about human nature. We thrive on structure and predictability, even if we don't always realize it.
Right. It's like our brains crave that sense of order.
And a well-designed routine provides that order. It's like creating a little sanctuary of peace amidst the chaos of life. It's not just about getting things done. It's about cultivating that inner peace and a deeper sense of well-being.
I love how you put that. It's about creating a life that feels both fulfilling and sustainable, where you're not just reacting to everything around you, but actually taking control and shaping your own destiny.
Absolutely. It's about being the author of your own life. And I think both the student and the professional would agree that their routines were more about liberation than restriction.
That's an interesting way to think about it. What were they liberated from?
From that feeling of overwhelm, from decision fatigue and stress and all the things that drain our energy and hold us back.
So routines aren't the enemy of freedom. They're actually the key to it.
Beautifully said. That's the perfect takeaway from this deep dive. A well-crafted routine is a powerful tool for creating a life that's not just productive, but also deeply meaningful and fulfilling.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of routines now. It's not just about checking things off a list. It's about creating a life that truly reflects who you are and what you value.
Exactly. And as we wrap up today's conversation, I encourage you to think about one small change you can make to your routine to bring you closer to the life you want to create.
That's a great question to ponder. I'm definitely going to be thinking about that.
And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about progress. Start small, be consistent, and most importantly, be kind to yourself along the way.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, we'll leave you to your routine crafting adventures.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
And as you think about your own routines, consider this. How can you design your day to not only achieve your goals, but also to nurture your soul? How can you create a rhythm that honors both your ambitions and your well-being? Those are the questions I'll be exploring as I craft my own routine. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.